Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this session, we're going to talk about the mini project on book lending system and, we'll talk about efficiently on managing the book collections for enhanced reader experience. So, welcome to my presentation on Java based library, management system. And this system is, designed to automate and streamline the library operations, uh, mark, marking it easier for librarians to manage books and for users to borrow and return books. And here we talk about problem statement where the manual library management system can be, time consuming, prone to errors, and inefficient. In order to overcome this, our Java-based system aims to solve these problems by providing a user-friendly and effective solution. And and main objective of this uh, book lending system is in order to introduce the key features of the Java-based library management system, and in order to demonstrate how the system works, it will highlight the benefits of using this system. And in this presentation, we preview the system design, key features, user interface, code explanation, and benefits and the future of this particular book lending system. So let us see the introduction for this book lending system. After which, after we'll move on for advantages, purposes, scope, and objective. Then finally we go with source code. I will explain the source code and will execute that particular source codes for this book lending system. In today's knowledge-driven society, libraries play a vital role in providing access to our information and fostering a love for reading. So, however, managing book collections and ensuring the lending processes can be a challenging and more difficult. And doing it manually is a very challenging thing for every librarian's staffs, for everyone, even for the person or the user who have to read. You have to search for thousands of books, and there will be a loss of you know time for overcoming all these problems. um, we go uh, we will try to build uh, an application that is book lending system, and it is designed to address the challenges as earlier said, providing an effective, efficient, and user-friendly and scalable solution for libraries to manage their books collections. And the main purpose of book lending system aims at streamlining book lending and returning processes. And it will improve book availability and accessibility. If the book is available in the library, and in order to access, there should be a book, and after returning their availability, it's all you know maintained by this book lending system. It will enhance the reader experience with the personalized recommendations, and it will support the library staff with automated tasks, and it uses the data analysis and instead of any manual work, and it promote literacy and community engagement. So uh, now the libraries are digitalizing, so we can use the e-resources from the libraries, so we can access whatever the book we need, you know, within wherever we are, like that, by these systems. So, what the scope of this a book lending system. It will the book cataloging and management, and also memorize the registration and management, book lending and returning, and it will find the management and the notification and reporting and analytics, and it will integrate with existing library systems. So this is all the scope of this system. And when we talk about objectives, it will increases the efficiency in book tending and returning processes, and it will improve the book availability by 20%, and it will enhance the reader satisfaction by 30%, and it will reduce the operational cost by 15%, and it's going to be support library staff along with the users, along with automated tasks and dealing with the data analysis. Now let us see the source code for this particular application, and we're gonna run this in VS Code. Here I have created 4 source code for this particular project, which deals with the book class, you know a title Java book class, and Java library class, Java user class, Java main class. So the Java book class will represent a book with attributes and methods, whereas the Java library class that will managing the books in the library, and the Java user class, which gives the user interface, and finally the main method. In order to access all this thing, we'll use a main method. So first we'll look into the you know book you know Java book class. Here we had created here we defined the public class as named as a book. Then we will store the title of the book, and we'll store the author name, and will operate a boolean expression that is available for true or false. In order to track the books, we use this particular is available. And next we'll talk about the constructor. Okay, here in this constructor, it will initializes the you know a new book. It will initializes a new book with the title and author, and it will set this available as true as default. By default, we non there is no need of setting it to be as a true. By default, it will be set to be as a true. Next, we'll return the title, and we'll return the author, and we'll you know uh, will return the is available. And next we'll talk about the lending book method. In the lending book method, if is available, then you know it will check if the book is available or not. If is available, then it will set if available to be as a false, and it will print the following message that will title and has been lent, or else is not available. Next we have written book method, which mainly talks about sets C is available as a true, then a particular message will be print. After that we have toString method. So it will returns the formatting string with the title. It will return the formatting string with the title, author, and available. And here we have a, you know, an example usage of this particular code, and in it demonstrates the creating a book object and using its method. So let us run this particular program and we'll obtain a desirable output for this thing. So we'll obtain an output for this particular program as follows. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, available, like 1984, which is available and has been sent, has been lent, has been returned, not available, available, lent. It gives the data of available, lent, has been returned, and lent data of the books. Next, we'll move on for library. Here, it will, library. So in this the library, first we'll create, add two Adore files, that is import java.util array list to create an array of this, and also for list. And next we have here the public class library, private list, which is, here first we'll declare a class definition, that is which defines a public class named library. Then we're gonna use attribute for it, and it stores a list of books in the library, and we're gonna use a constructor here, which initializes a new library object with an empty book list, and then we're gonna add book method. Then we'll add a book method here. After adding this book method, uh, we'll use this particular code for adding book method. So this adds a book to the library and prints the confirmation message as whatever the book we're gonna add it to the library. Then uh, list available books method, we'll use the what are the books are available in the list. In order to see this, we use this particular code. So it creates the list of all the available books in the library. And next we uh, declare a code in order to finding the book here. So it searches for a book by title and returns the book object if founded. Next we have you know example code for this particular program. Let us execute this particular program. So this is how the output of this particular program appears. So some books are added to the library, and like Pride and Prejudice added to the library, and the available books in the library like To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper, 1984, Pride and Prejudice, they are all available books. And found books we have 1984, and 1984 has been lent, and available books like To Kill Bird by Harper, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. These are all the books that are available yet. Next, we'll move on for user Java. What except you know you know Java user class. You know, First we'll create a you know class definition. So which defines the public class named user, and we have an attribute here which stores the username and stores the list of borrowed books by the user. After, we'll use a constructor here, which initializes a new user object with a name, and it will create an empty list of you know, borrowed books. And next, we'll use the getting method. Next, we use a getter method. Here we use getter method. So it helps in returning the user's name. After that, we have borrowing book method. This is a borrowing book method. So this checks if the book is available. If available, then lend the book, add it to the borrowed list, and it will print the message that the book is borrowed, else is not available. Then we um, see the return book method, where it will remove the book from the borrowed list. If removed, returns the book and prints a message. The book is returned, else didn't borrowed, like that. So after that, we have list borrowed books method. In this thing, it you know expresses the list of all the books borrowed by the users. And we have an example for this particular thing, and we'll run this particular program. So we'll get the output exactly like this. Like, To Kill a Mockingbird has been learned, and 1984 has been learned. So Bob borrowed 1984. Pride and Prejudice has been learned. Alice borrowed Pride and Prejudice, like, which are all borrowed, and they have been, and some books has been returned. Like To Kill a Mockingbird has been returned, and all the lists have been created here. And some books are re-added to the some Bob has no borrowed books, and Alice has borrowed the following book, Pride and Prejudice, and you know Alice borrowed To Kill Mockingbird, and Alice returned to Kill a Mockingbird, like this. The exact output we're gonna obtain from this particular code. Next, we'll talk about you know main class. So first, we'll defines the public class with named as a main, and it's a user interface. Next, we use a main class here, public class main, which is a main class. After which, we'll initialize the code and initialize the library users, and library users, and you know add books. We initialize this library users and add books. Then comes with the you know user interface, where exactly the creation of a user interface with options with switch statement here. So first, this will talks about the list available books. Then second, it talks about the borrowed books. Third one, it talks about the return a book. And fourth one, we'll talk about the list borrowed books. And fifth one will be exited by default. And finally, concluded with particular source code, and we'll run this particular code. So we'll get the output exactly like this. Like list available books, borrowed books, return books, view borrowed books, exit book. From this particular switch statement, we can access the book Java library, Java user, and we can whatever the manipulation if we want, we can do with this. This completes the our source code of this particular project. Thank you.